Stacking is a method of secretly arranging the cards desirable to the cheat. By stacking, the cheat can ensure that the best cards either go to him or his partner. Stacking is a great way of cheating during a straight deal. Okay, this is the easiest method of stacking. This is called lay stacking. We're going to assume that this hand was just played exactly like this. So now it's my turn to deal. So I'm going to collect the cards just like this. And if I collected them in a manner so that I will receive the jacks during this deal, assuming that I'm dealing. Right now I'm controlling the top stock with a slip cut, as I explained earlier. So I'm dealing out 1, 2, 3. This should be a jack. 1, 2, 3, and this should be a jack. That's the lay stack. Okay, this is the explanation for the lay stack. Basically, I'm going to alter the position of the cards as they lay on the table so that during the deal, I'm going to get them. The formula you need to remember for this is number of players minus 1. So in this case, there's 4 players. Minus 1 is 3, so that's the number I need to remember. I need to put 3 cards before each card I want to be dealt. I know it sounds confusing, but hear me out. Here's what the cards I'm going to go for this time is going to be the Queen of Diamonds and the Jack of Diamonds. So the first thing I notice is that the 9 is in front of the Queen. I need to put 2 more cards in front of this Queen so that when I turn them over and deal, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, Queen. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these cards on top of these players' cards. I'm not concerned about what his cards are. I'm just concerned about the Queen. So now if I turn this over and deal, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, Queen. The next thing I'm going to go for is the Jack. Jack of Diamonds. So I need to put 3 cards in front of that. So what I'm going to do is pick up these 2 cards, the Jack and the 4, and place it on top of these players' cards. And then place them over here. So now I have 3 cards, the Queen, 3 cards, the Jack. Then I need to scoop all these cards up, as long as they don't disturb my 6-card stack at this point. Place the cards on top, and then we're going to control the top stock just the way we did earlier. And when I deal them out, 1, 2, 3, that should be the Queen. 1, 2, 3, and there's the Jack. It's a very easy way to secure a good hand. The best way to practice lay stacking is to just shuffle the cards and then deal out hands. Think of a number of players and then just deal out the cards. And I don't want you to think you're restricted by the way I picked up the cards. You can take cards from anywhere in order to get that number. You can take cards, from the community cards, or you can rearrange. You can say, "What did you have?" Oh, okay, just like that. You rearranged it. You can play with this move quite a bit, and there's a lot of things you can do to get the job done. Okay, now I'm going to show you the overhand method of stacking cards, which is arranging the cards so that you get them during the deal. And I'm going to do it with the 2 jacks. I'm going to do the original method as described by Erdnase in Expert at the Card Table. And I'll show you what it looks like first. I'm actually doing this for 4 players right now. And deal, 1, 2, 3, Jack, 1, 2, 3, Jack. Okay, now I'm going to explain the overhand stacking method as described by Erdnase. You get the 2 jacks, or whatever cards you're going to control, on top of the deck. Hold the cards as if you're about to do an overhand shuffle, which is in this position, roughly. You can hold it relatively in any position for this shuffle. First thing you're going to do is pull back the top card. What I'm doing is with my right thumb, I'm making sure that only 1 card comes back, and I'm in-jogging that top card. Undercutting about half the deck. And what I'm going to do here, this is where it gets a little confusing. I'm going to take the number of players times 2 minus 2. So in this case, the one I just demonstrated to you, there were 4 players. So 4 times 2 is 8, minus 2 is 6. So I'm going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. And when I say run, I mean taking the cards directly off the top. On the 7th card, I'm going to up jog, just like that, so it's out from the front of the deck. So at this point, I have a card from the front and the back. Then I'm going to continue shuffling normally. And remember, you want to shuffle sloppy to cover up your jogs. I'm going to take my middle finger and push up on my up jog. And on my down jog, I'm going to push in. That will give me a break. You see how that just formed a break right there? And then the formula continues by shuffling 1 less than the number of players. In this case, once again, there's 4 players. Minus 1 is 3. I'm going to run 1, 2, 3 cards. And that's the most difficult part of this shuffle, is running cards as you're holding a break. The next part is I'm going to throw all the cards above my break into my left hand, just like that. That's slow. It's hard to do it slow. And then I'm going to run the number of players, 4 players. 1, 2, 3, 4. I then down jog one more time, continue to shuffle normally and sloppily, pick up at my break, which is I'm pushing up on my in jog, and then throwing these cards back on top. So once that's done, I've positioned the jacks through the shuffling to land to me during the deal of a 4-player game. This is another method of overhand stack that I created, and this is called the JW stack. You get the jacks on the top just the same as in the ordinary stack. And it looks like this. We'll say 4 players again. And the jacks fall to me. This is the explanation for the JW stack, and I like it much better than the ordinary stack, because as you can see, it took a lot less time with a lot less moves. I'm going to keep the jacks face up so you can see exactly what's going on. I'm going to undercut about half the deck and in-jog the first card. Then I'm going to continue shuffling messily. So that in-jog there is my bookmark on where the jacks are. I pick up on that in-jog, and now the position is this. I have the 2 jacks here. So now what I'm going to do is run the first jack, and this is where the original part comes in. I'm going to pull back with my index finger on this jack so I can take the cards beneath the jack. And what I'm going to do is run the number of players minus 1, that same formula that we used for the lay stack. I'm going to pull back the jack, and in this case we did 4 players, so I'm going to run 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to push back so the jack is square with the rest of the deck, and run the number of players. 4 players. 1, 2, 3, 4. Break and shuffle off. You can see my jog right there. Then I pick up and deal. 1, 2, 3, jack. 1, 2, 3, jack. So up to speed with the jacks face up, it looks exactly like this. And that's the stack. Now we're going to talk about one of the most difficult methods of stacking cards, and that is riffle stacking. And in riffle stacking, what you're going to do is you're going to actually arrange the cards as you're shuffling, just like that. Let me explain exactly what it looks like first. I'm going to do it with the 2 kings, for example. So I have 2 kings, and it really doesn't matter how many players there are. Let's say there's 5 players in this game. So in 2 shuffles, I should be able to do that. There's 1 shuffle, and there's 2 shuffles. In this case, I'm going to add a scrape cut and deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, king. 1, 2, 3, 4, king. This is the explanation for riffle stacking. I'm going to do it with the 2 queens. I'll leave them face up so you can see exactly what's going on. Remember that formula that the number of players minus 1. That's the most important formula to remember in card cheating. So we'll say that there's 4 players in this game. If there's 4 players in this game, I need to put 3 cards in between the 2 queens and 3 cards on top. That way when I deal them out, the queens will come to me. On the first shuffle, I'm going to cut half the cards over to the right, just like this. Tap the deck and hold back 3 with my left thumb. I start with my left, and then I get 3 cards, just like that. I then riffle down with my right until I have 1 card. The 3 cards are going to go in between the queens, just like that. I then square up. Now, I only need to add 3 cards on top on that queen, so I'm going to do the exact same thing, except without holding back any cards on my right side. I'm going to dribble down until I have 3 cards, and then shuffle the rest of the cards. I square up, and my queens are now in position to fall to me in a 4-handed game. 1, 2, 3, queen. 1, 2, 3, queen. The best way to practice riffle stacking is to start exactly like this, cutting over to the right, and practice just holding back 1 card. So now I'm just holding back 1 card, and that goes on top. Then cut the right again, and try holding back 2 cards. You can do it without looking if you wish. 2 cards. Then try holding back 3 cards. There's 3 cards. And placing it on top. And eventually, through practicing all of this, you'll be able to get to the point where you're holding back 6 cards without really thinking about it, just by feel. Once you've practiced riffle stacking enough, you'll be able to do this. I'm going to riffle stack the 2 queens, 4 players in 1 shuffle with a cut. 1, 2, 3, queen. 1, 2, 3, queen. This next method is riffle stacking used at its best. This is cold stacking. So we'll say that the cards can be legitimately mixed up just after someone else's deal, and the cards are handed to me. So the cards just got handed to me. I'm going to take them and I'm going to give them a few shuffles here. And let's say there's 5 players in the game. So in 2 more shuffles, there's 1, and there's 2. I should have stacked myself 10s. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm the 5th player. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last 10. 2 10s. That's cold stacking. This is the explanation for cold stacking. Basically what's happening is, as I'm shuffling, I'm glimpsing the cards as they fall down from my left thumb. You can see the indexes as I do so. There's a 6 and a 2 on top of the deck. Once I get cards that I like on top of the deck, I'm then going to riffle stack them. So let's begin. I cut to the right. I begin to shuffle. I see a king and a 5. I'm going to keep the king. The king's on top of the deck. So in order to keep that, I'm going to cut this over to the right once again and begin my shuffle. I now see a queen. That's a good enough card to keep. So I'm going to continue shuffling and let the king and the queen land on top of the deck. When I square up, I should have the queen followed by the king. Now I'm going to riffle stack. So let's say that there's 5 players in the game. I'm going to have to put 4 cards in between the queen and the king, and then 4 cards on top of the queen in the second shuffle. Now when I deal out the cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, that should be a queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, that should be the king. That's cold stacking. This next thing I'm going to show you is the double duke, and it's one of the most difficult things to do with cards. I'm going to give a sucker a pair of queens in the pocket while giving myself kings in the pocket. So he's going to bet heavily but lose to my better hand. So this is what the double duke looks like. I'm going to do it in 3 shuffles. It's 1. And it's done. I did 6 players, and the 4th player is going to be the sucker hand. So that's 1, 2, 3 other players. That's the sucker. And myself a king. 1, 2, 3, sucker hand, and the king for myself. This is the explanation for the double duke. You need to have the sucker's hand on top and your hand directly below it. So you have a 4-card stack to begin with. In my scenario, I had the queens and then the kings directly below it. You're going to start by doing a slip cut, but a different kind of slip cut. You're going to cut it just like this, to the right, as opposed to the original method of going like this. You're going to cut it directly to the right. So this is the top half, else than the queen. And you're going to start by a very simple riffle stack. You're going to riffle down, hold back 1 on the left hand, and on the right hand you're going to hold back 2. So the situation is this. And then I'm going to place those down and square up. So right now, the reason I did that first shuffle is to organize the queens and kings. So it goes queen, king, queen, king. That way when I deal it out in a game, the sucker's hand comes first, and then comes my hand. Now it gets a little confusing, but it's still with riffle technique. You're going to cut the top half to the right. And you're going to start by riffling the left packet and getting down to just 4 cards on the left packet. So up to speed, that looks like this. So now I have 4 cards on my left packet. On my right packet, I'm just going to riffle down until I have 3 cards. That means just the king has fallen down from here. I'm going to drop 1 card from my left-hand packet, 1 card from my right-hand packet, and then the remaining cards from my left-hand packet, which is 3 cards, and let these 2 fall on top. So during that shuffle, I organized the first queen and king so that there's 3 cards before the first queen, and then 1 extra card, and then the king. That way when I deal this out, it goes 1, 2, 3 players, the queen for the sucker, another card for another player, and then the king for myself. So now I'm going to repeat that stack for the top 2 cards. I'm going to start by riffling the left packet and hold back 4 cards, again, on the left packet. On the right packet, this one's fairly easy. I'm just holding back 1 card. I let 1 card drop from my left-hand packet. You could hear it. So then I just have 3 left. Let the right-hand queen fall, and the remaining 3 cards fall on top of the queen. So once I square up, I have this situation. I have 3 cards the queen, 1 card the king, 3 cards the queen, 1 card the king. That's all the stack you need. You can do a false cut, or whatever you want at this point. Then when you deal, it should be 1, 2, 3. That's the sucker hand. And then 1 for myself. 1, 2, 3, the sucker hand, 1, and the kings. And that's the way to double duke.